So I'm back with my attempt at creating this channel. It has been so challenging to get out of my head and actually produce this content. Uh, I don't know. I've wanted it to be like perfect. If I was going to be a content creator, I went through a whole thing where I like bought all this camera equipment, and I was gonna make this into like the best that I could produce if I was gonna do this. Um, and I still didn't do it. So we're just gonna be raw. This is unedited. This is just me being honest. Last time I started this channel or put a couple videos out, I started to get like my footing a bit, and life just happened. If you notice, my background's a little different, but I've moved to France. I lost my father. Um, I left America. So many things have changed. I'm taking language school now for French. Um, and it's all really good stuff, but it has been a bit overwhelming and destabilizing. And I've been finding lots of excuses of why not to do this. So, and every time I come up with an excuse, I still find my way back to this desire that wants to happen, which is for me to just talk about blockchain, for me to talk about my life, for me to come on camera. And I've been so resistant and lazy, and um, the thing is still there to do it. So I'm here once again towards the end of the month. It's time to pay bills on my credit cards and all those things. And by this point in my journey with crypto, I honestly thought that I would have much more financial independence and freedom than I'm feeling right now. And so I've been kind of waiting for things outside of me to produce a change so that my life would change. And that's hasn't happened. So this is me getting into action, um, me putting forth creativity into something I deeply believe in, and me just being raw and vulnerable and real. So it's time for me to pay my bills this month. I hate it. I cringe because I quit my job, which I was working in hair and television in Los Angeles for a few years, and uh, just kind of reached a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It doesn't bring me joy. It doesn't fulfill me in any ways. And I have dreams that want to be realized that I honestly have no idea how to get there. And those dreams are to be a helpful person in this world, to be close to my niece, my nephew, for me to create a life that is sustainable not only for myself, but also for those people that I love. For me to be a vehicle that gets to show people how good life can be. And so I need to let life be good. So this is what I've been led to. Um, and here I am. So, and I don't even know how I'm going to get there. I literally saved a chunk of money before I quit my job. I invested it all in crypto. I thought by now, with all of the news and information that's happening in the world, that there would be more profits that I could be sitting on, and it's not. And that sucks. But I still really deeply believe in this technology that is here and that's coming. And so we're going to learn about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be honest about it. And before my introduction into this was I was just going to talk about blockchain as a whole entirety. And I actually got advice from someone that I look up to in the podcast space, and they told me to put my skin in the game. And so to narrow my focus and to really talk about uh, what it is I believe in within this blockchain technology and what it is that I'm putting all my weight behind. And that for me is XRP. This is not financial advice by any means. It's just my journey and a search into why I believe in this. So, if you watched any other videos, if you haven't, whatever, I'll just kind of briefly describe. But about 4 years ago, 5 years ago or so, around the end of COVID, or around the end of the pandemic, I already said it. I don't know. I don't know if you're not supposed to say those things. I don't know. Whatever. Um, I had a friend that invested a lot of money into meme coins, and I heard about it because I wasn't doing anything. I was sitting around the house, and I heard that a friend of his put in, I think, like $5,000 into this coin, and he made a lot of money, but also he took out a lot of money before the actual bull market started. And so the $5,000 that he invested, like if he had kept it in, it would have been $5 million. And this was within a couple weeks of this happening. And I was so fascinated by it because I honestly don't like the idea of conventional work. For many years now, I've wanted to figure out another way to exist in the world besides clocking into a 9 to 5 and doing things that don't bring me joy. And part of why this video, putting it up, is has been hard because in my head, this doesn't feel like fun anymore, and I'm talking about an industry that feels so boring and so foreign to me, and it's not moving as fast as I want it to, and it's all the things that make me want to completely check out. And at the same time, I deeply believe in this technology that I've learned about. And so, back to what my friends told me about this meme coin, it done really well, and I was kind of in a place in my life where I was very skeptical of everything, very fearful of lots of things or everything. And I kind of was like, this sounds cool, but I want to find out like what this is. And with all the time I had on my hands at the time, I decided to start researching. I never cared about finance before. I never cared about anything outside of fun, drinking, partying, laughing, being around good people, fashion, things that just made me feel good and what made others feel good. I wanted to be a part of that. So, anyways, I started researching, and I heard this like thing in my head of follow the money, follow the money. I feel like my only introductions to the financial world have always been this idea of follow the money. So I started to research about where this new technology, which I knew was blockchain, based off my initial like discovery, but where would money enter this space? And I started researching, and I found this project called XRP. And XRP was at the time the first one of the first thing I discovered was they were in a lawsuit with the SEC, which is a part of the United States government, and it's a Securities and Exchange Commission, and they basically decide how and what is a security, money things, all these things. We'll get into it later. But this company was in a lawsuit, and I thought it was very interesting that, especially with my, what's the word, skepticism of the world. It's like, why is this company in, like, have a lawsuit? And it made me want to be like hands off already, because at the time, like everything about this industry was that it was a scam, that it was bad, that it was not okay. So I did a little bit more research, and I saw that the people that were involved with this token were really reputable people that had worked in different parts of the government. And one person in particular that really caught my eye was Rosie Rios. She's on the board of directors for Ripple. And before she worked on the board of directors with this company, she had worked for the United States government, and she had signed the $100 bill most recently at the time. And as I've continued to look, I think there's like over I don't know the exact number, but it's over 2 trillion $100 bills in circulation at the moment. And I'm almost positive. I'll research more to get the clarifications, but I believe her name is on like over half of those, if not more. Uh, Her signature, so she understands money, and since that time and until now, she went to Harvard, and she is the first Latina woman that has had a portrait erected of her at Harvard, which I think is so cool. So you must be doing something right if Harvard wants to honor you in this way. Also, she went back to study more about like millennials and how they'll handle money and what will happen in the future. And so not only does she have her foot into the legacy system, into the old system of money and truly understanding it, but it sounds like she is also putting her foot into the future and where money is going and the generations behind her. And so for her to be on the board of directors, that really like hooked me. Another person is David Sachs, which through my research, he's been in tech and the incubation and creation of things of internet and data and all those things since the initiation of the internet. Literally, some of his ideas were patented as the internet was created, and that's like major to like that he had such a blueprint in the creation of this. And again, we'll go into more later, but this was like another hook that got me excited. And then just going through different names on their board of directors where they are have worked with some of our older presidents in the United States, like President Obama, President Clinton, as far as the Treasury Department, like the head lawyer on the team, on Ripple's team, has worked with American Express, with the CEO and president on his like legal counsel, and so it just really sounded like a real legit project of people working behind it that had real world experience. And so this really like intrigued me, which is so interesting because I honestly do not care about finance or any of this. I never cared about it, but it intrigued me. And then once I started to research what XRP was, which from my immediate understanding, XRP was created to move money cross border instantaneously for fractions of a penny. Uh, Sounds exciting, sounds boring, sounds like a mixture of it. Like that sounds really cool. It also sounds like I don't really care. That's kind of how I felt, but it felt like something I could believe in more than just the meme tokens that I was being introduced to. And just throwing money at something that had a funny name that might magnify in profit, but also might go away. And um, I just got hooked. And so for years, I like kind of hid out and just like listened to YouTubers that loved this project, did research around, and really got excited. And for so long, I kind of just like threw money into this whenever I got a paycheck and that kind of thing, and continued to believe in it. And this was many years, 3, 4 years, but something kept me hooked. Like every potential corner of the lawsuit that was happening, any kind of like revelations or any projects or any kind of potential partnerships that were happening or anything that was happening, I was getting very excited. And I believe we live in a world where everything is already digital. Like we like our value system, how we take pleasure in life is digitized, and even how we pay for things is digitized. And we live in a society that is so in need of instant gratification. I mean, I'm guilty of this. with my journey in this world of blockchain and crypto, I've wanted instant gratification. It hasn't worked out the way I've wanted it, and within this world of instant gratification, and the need for things to be processed quickly, data being so important, uh, I thought it was very interesting that money hasn't translated to that kind of infrastructure where we can move it instantaneously, where things are done in the moment, where if I spend something at the grocery store, it's instantly deducted from my checking account, and so forth. And so I just see a mass opportunity here, and I want to talk about it. So this is why XRP is so important to me. I'm also someone with a dream that again doesn't want to work in the way that I've worked before. And I remember when Bitcoin was just a baby, and people told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, this is a scam. This is not real." And I watched Bitcoin go from under $1 to I think it's over $100,000 now, a token, and I refuse to make that mistake again, especially as we're in a time where money, where information, where the way that we move through the world is, I think, in the middle of a transformation. So I've committed, and I hope you hold me to it. I'm going to hold myself to it. For the next 30 days, I'm making a video every day about XRP. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about why I'm here. I'm going to talk about why I believe in it. I'm going to be honest. My initial goal that I had for this broadcast was that many people that I told about this information to over the years, they've told me I was crazy, that I was going to lose all my money, and I've definitely taken heed to their advice and just being cautious. But I also deeply believe we are in the middle of a transition, and I also believe that a lot of people aren't paying attention, and that this could be a key to financial freedom. And I just want to explore why I believe that. And I think on a maybe one of my missions that I think and thought was what I was supposed to be doing was to bridge people from being uncertain, unfamiliar, afraid of this new technology to just simply understanding it and allow them to navigate into this space on their own and discover, and maybe we can share with each other over time. And even and I would like for that to happen, I guess, because I've been running from um, that vision for a while. But the other thing is, I think on an even personal level, is if I'm right about this being a new technology, the new internet of money, of things, of information, and we are going into a new system, um, I need to know about it. And it's kind of boring just taking in all this information by myself. I don't know what to do with it. And it's even more boring when we haven't seen it out picture in the real world yet. But it's heating up. And if you stick around for the next few days, 30 days, I don't know where or if it'll go after that. But I do commit for the next 30 days to just talk about XRP, to talk about why I believe in it, to talk about what's happening, to talk about what it is, to talk about the new legislations and rules and things that are happening, because we are on the precipice of something really huge happening. And I felt that for a while with XRP, and I really believe that it's happening now. So for now, there won't be any edits. There won't be any huge lights and things and huge productions. It's just going to be raw, real, straightforward. Um, we'll talk tomorrow about like what XRP actually is, what's the problem that it solves, and again, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to just explain this thing I found, and to dig into it, and to either come out at the end believing in this more deeply, or come out at the end and say, I followed my intuition. Um, I followed my guts. I mean, as of right now, I'm about to pull money out of an account that's not going to last me forever at this point, unless I learn how to be smart with my thinking and learn how to be smart with my investing and create something. And so, thank you for being here. I hope you join me on this journey. Like, subscribe, all those things. I could use the support. Um, it does feel really lonely. And this is where I am. See you tomorrow. Bye.